No, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Please take notice that the Wellfleet Conservation Commission, in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wellfleet Environmental Protection Bylaw, will hold a public hearing in person in the basement of Town Hall and via Zoom on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. Public hearings begin at 4 p.m. Business meetings to follow.
I don't think you have it. That wasn't what I want for you.
All right. In attendance, we have Michael Fisher, Barbara Benisel, Bob Stewart, and Leon Shreves. So we have a bare quorum.
Well, Jamie, I have that revised. No, I don't.
What am I missing? I don't have. The first hearing is David and Suzanne.
It's not. I'll get it up on my phone. No, it's the part where
We'll take a pause for a second.
the town of Wellfleet. You want to read it online? It keeps on calling. That one. That got added on Monday.
The first hearing is the town of Wellfleet, 355 Commercial Street, map 21, parcel 114. Emergency certificate for replacement of 40 to 50 pilings due to ice dam. Bob and I went down to the harbor and talked to them today and got an idea of what they.
And Mike here, if you want.
Let me come there, here.
You can come right there.
Okay.
And introduce yourself.
Hi, Mike Kavanaugh. I'm the Wellfleet Harbor Master. I didn't see you. I wish I had. You came down. I wish I had saw you. But yeah, the ice did tremendous damage over the winter. The freezing from that area where the pilings are is difficult because there's that runoff from Duck Creek, which is generally fresh water, so it freezes faster than salt water, and it all flows right into the marina area. Unfortunately, once it starts icing up, that continued flow from the creek just pushes everything towards the pier. And if you go down and you look, there's many pilings that are tipped over. There's many that are missing that you can't see. And it's part of the ice flow, and it's partly because we had such a cold winter. The ice freezes around the piling. And generally it's lower, like the low tide level. And then when it comes, the rise is, ice floats. So it tries to pull the piling up. And so there was a lot of that happened as well. Where there's a bid out from the town for piling replacement. I think that bid expires April 26th. And we're trying to get a company in here who will replace or set missing piles so we can get the marina open, which will probably be a little delayed this year because of all the damage.
I understand some that are bent over are likely broken.
Yeah. So the piling, your Chapter 91 license, which I finally found and got Alicia a copy. The original Chapter 91 license calls for 50-foot pilings driven to, I believe, a negative 23 feet. So if those truly are 50-foot pilings and they're bent like that, then they're broken. I question after the dredging they did it like 5 years ago, whether they put 50 foots in. They could have put in 30 foots, 30 footers, and there's a big depth of mud. So if they put in shorter pilings, it's possible that they got pushed in the mud gate a little bit. So the engineer is going to, the bid that we have out that the engineer helped us with is to determine whether they're broken, whether they're the right size, and to replace them.
Right, because if they were more shallow and just leaned over, they weren't suspect.
Yeah, but if they're 50 footers, then they're down far and they would have to be broken.
There's one of them in Children's Cove I saw.
Yeah, there's.
I said, what is this telephone pole?
Yeah, and it's a pile.
There's one of them on Great Island that we have to go get, but we have to go at low tide and tie it up and put buoys on it. So when the tide comes in, we can grab it with a boat and pull it out.
Yeah.
It just was a mess this year.
Yeah.
Probably historic.
So this is to not only a survey and also put them in?
Yeah,
Mhm.
to replace the ones that are broken, missing, or leaning over so bad that they can't really be fixed.
Narrative says it's about 40 to 50 pilings that they need to replace, so
Right.
it's significant.
Yeah, and those are with a pile driver kind of?
Yeah, they would be pile driven. They wouldn't use hydraulics or drilling to get them in. It would just all be pile driven, so there shouldn't be much sediment wash. Whereas if you did it hydraulically, they put a jet down and try to blow things out and get a hole there to put it down. So it would just be a pile driver. Probably would be pretty interesting for the town to watch.
That was gonna be one of my questions about the hydraulics. I was gonna suggest to the commission that we put a condition on it that says no hydraulic pile driving without coming for a formal permit.
Okay.
So that'll be a condition on there. So if the engineer comes through and they decide that they need to do that, just be aware that that'll be a
Okay.
condition on there.
And the reason for that is because
Just
the
what you
mud,
said, yeah, it just creates so much more disturbance,
Yeah.
like a significantly more disturbance when you use hydraulic pile drivers, especially with the sediment that's there, you know, if
Yeah.
it's just sand, like some harbors are just sand and it's a little easier, it falls quicker, but that fine
Yeah, that-
stuff that we have, it's not.
Sediment will wash out probably around the pier.
the outer looks there close to where Mayo Creek comes out.
Yep.
There's only like one piling out there. You're gonna be putting more pilings out there because it's been sparse.
Yeah, that's that's a great question. I had a lot of concerns about that. There were two. And it held a section of 67 boats that went kind of out in the middle of that area. And it was only two pilings. And last year we had a windstorm and I went down and looked at it and that whole section was bent like a U. It was horrible. So I had it part of our capital plan to add additional pilings there. This kind of worked out that we have a lot more to add, but the engineer is requesting 5 additional pilings to hold that section in place.
So that's part of this.
Yes.
Also.
And that will probably need approval through chapter 91,
Mhm.
adding pilings. You're probably gonna need, adding pilings, typically you need approval through chapter 91, but the engineer will probably do all that.
Yeah.
But that'll be, so there's 2 other conditions that I want to talk about that I'm gonna add is, you know, all other necessary approvals or permits have to be in place before you start.
Okay.
And if you're adding pilings that are on the chapter 91 license, usually you have to go back to chapter 91
Okay.
and amend it. And then the other one will be that we get an NOI or comprehensive permit for maintenance of the harbor, so that this is definitely an emergency permit. Almost every town has an emergency permit for their harbor right now because of ice damage.
Mhm.
But the harbor, even before you did work without the benefit of a permit
Yeah.
regularly. So I just want to make sure that that doesn't continue when we don't rely on emergency permits to get all the work done, the maintenance work that needs to be done. Like
Yeah.
I said, this is a true need for an emergency permit. So then just getting that in within 9 months.
Okay.
And that we can work together on that.
Yeah, Alicia, you've been great. And I've only been doing this for a year and a half, so I'm still trying to figure out how.
Yeah, we can, after the summer, maybe, because I know it's busy for you to get together and we likely won't need, we might need an engineer to help us, but if we just get language down about what is considered maintenance and how much, because you need to replace pilings, like a couple pilings a year is normal, and you should be able to do that without having to come to us for approval, so we'll work
How long
on
would
that.
an NOI that NOI be valid for 3 years?
Well, it would depend, yeah, 3 years, but then we can extend it, but if we do it under, like, it might qualify for a comprehensive permit, and those, aren't good for as long as the town wants them to be good for.
Natural heritage, are they involved here? The terrapins are in the mud there this time of year. Concerned about time of year and whether natural heritage, because natural heritage was involved in the dredging of that area. So do they need to approve it?
I'll ask Natural Heritage, it might be maintenance of harbors, I think is exempt from Natural Heritage, is one of the exempt activities. But let me email them and ask them, and it might be, I'm trying to think about all the exempt activities, but I'll look into that, and it'll be a condition for them to get that in place. And I'll touch base with you
Okay.
about Natural Heritage.
Yeah.
I mean, the turtles should be coming out of their cremation in April, this month. So it might be less of an issue. I don't know when you're planning on doing this, Mike.
Well, the bid closes on the 26th of this month, so you know,
May.
it's probably gonna be May. It would be, honestly, it may be tough to get them in before June, quite frankly.
Turtles will be out of the mud by then.
So they might be clear.
They'll be swimming around watching the whole.
Yeah.
They can get out of the way.
Sitting around eating popcorn.
Well, that's good, so it might not even be a real issue.
Okay, so,
One more, this is for general information.
Yeah,
The pile driving, is this a vibratory hammer that should be using?
it's, no, it doesn't shake. It's the one, and listen, I'm kind of new to this too. It's the one that drops.
Okay,
It's train operated, it lifts and it's just a heavy weight and it drops down on top of it.
Hey, I actually have one more question. Are you gonna know if ones are broken in the ground, and are you gonna be pulling them up, or are you just leaving them?
The attempt is to get them out if they can. So if they know where there's one or one's leaned over and it truly is broken and they pull it and it fakes, my understanding is they're gonna go down and try to grab it.
Okay.
And pull it up and then dispose of it.
yes, we'd be best not to leave stumps. Leave them around.
I mean, I don't know.
Are they creosote treated?
I don't know. Some of them are older. Some of them are that newer green. Like when you look at them, some of the ones that have been replaced recently are the like green heart pine, but some of those older ones are definitely probably the older style trees. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I know that I think there's southern yellow pine in there now, and that's what they're going to replace them with.
And this won't in any way affect the work that needs to be done on the L pier, right?
No, that's another. Yeah, no, that it's separate. The L pier didn't sustain any ice damage. The fishermen did a great job of trying to keep a pathway open, and the L pier, the inner harbor seemed to not be as frozen, like right behind the L of the L pier, and the fishermen created a channel right next to the outside, the southern side. So there wasn't any L pier damage, but that's a whole nother ball game.
Mhm.
So this is an emergency certificate. We have to vote to approve it.
Mhm.
It's an emergent, what is it? It's a,
Emergency certificate
of what? Of just an emergency certificate.
to repair the harbor by, you can do installation of 30 to 40 new pilings.
I move that we approve this emergency order to repair the pilings in the harbor if all the conditions are met.
Second, Michael?
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
and yes. You're good to go, Mike.
Thank you all. It should be entertaining. I've never seen this
You'll have
done.
to let us know when they're scheduled.
Yeah, I'll definitely come down. So you-
Entertaining, the whole town would go and watch.
Oh, I
So I'm
remember.
sure they're gonna watch this too.
Mike, I have a conference.
They'll bring a signature page.
You-
Oh,
Okay, we'll figure that out after. I have a conference tomorrow that I'm going to, but I'll email it to you on Friday.
Okay,
I'll email it to you and Roy, and I can drop it off at your office.
I'm off Friday, but I'll get it Monday.
I can sign it as the agent.
I was gonna say you can sign for us.
Yeah, I can sign it as the agent's been ratified, so.
Okay.
Great.
Good, thank you all very much.
Thank you for taking the time.
Special thanks to Alicia, who's been very helpful in guiding me through this process.
Yeah, we'll be,
Very helpful to us.
And I make sure we do everything right.
yeah, appreciate it, Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is David and Suzanne Costick, 71 Catbuck Road, map 41, parcel 106, SC 077-1690, and 0710 to construct addition in existing deck area and construct covered front porch. It's been continued from December 3rd, 2025, January 7th, 2026, February 4th, 2026, March 4th, 2026, and March 18th, 2026. That's got to be a record. And they're requesting a new continuance until the 15th of April. So I so move.
Second, Michael, yes.
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 And yes. Okay. Okay. Next, we have Elisa Robinson, 156 Lieutenant Road, Island Road, map 42, parcel 50, SC 077-1697, and those of intent to rebuild a small cottage and install a new septic system. Is there somebody to speak to this here?
We'll just move on to the next one. Did we get it, then, was that supposed to be on the 15th?
House for two.
I thought it was.
That's safe harbor, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he dropped this application off a while ago, and maybe we got the date wrong on when he wanted to.
Okay.
But we'll move on and then.
All right, the next hearing is Corin Chubako and Jeremy Zim, 19 Blue Heron Road, map 41, parcel 12, SC 077-1668. They request permitted order of condition for installing an at-grade rising split rail fence, new well to now include additional living space in existing garage and roof cover over dwelling entrance.
Yes,
So I should disclose that I'm a trustee of the Conservation Trust, which has a parent interest in this that will be affected. Not taking into account the facts I disclosed above, I feel I can perform my official duty objectively and fairly.
Good. Is that okay with you?
yes, absolutely. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Teresa Sprague with Wellfleet Design here on behalf of Corinne DeShirico and Jeremy Zen. So we've submitted this request to amend the existing order of conditions for the following. As you have pointed out, and we also have Boris Javanovich, who is the builder, that is joining us as well. He may be able to answer some of the more detailed construction questions for you.
Okay, great.
So basically, what we're proposing here are some changes to the interior of the building and the garage. The entire structure is located within the 50-foot buffer zone. We did submit an updated site plan, which was a requirement at the previous notice of intent to submit an updated site plan. So Dan O'Reilly and Associates, John O'Reilly went out, surveyed the site. We have an updated site plan with new buffer zones and a new coastal bank delineation, which was something I think we all suspected would a new survey would result in this based on the new FEMA flood regulations of 2014. So we have submitted that. So we are proposing those changes to the interior of the building. The entire building is located within the 50-foot buffer zone to the coastal bank. The changes include converting an existing garage to a master bedroom and lifting the roof plate 1 foot higher than the existing structure with no change in pitch to the garage roof. The existing structure volume measures approximately 29,989 cubic feet, and the proposed structure volume with that 1 foot lift will result in 30,193 cubic feet, which is a 0.68% volume increase, so less than a 1% volume increase in the structure. In addition, they're proposing to recess a roof deck into the existing roof line, which will not increase the volume of square footage. And finally, they're proposing to construct a roof cover at the front door that will result in 3 square feet of additional roof overhang over the existing front entry landing. The existing total area of site disturbance within the 100-foot buffer zone is 2,768 square feet. Proposed total area of disturbance within the 100-foot buffer zone would be 2,771 square feet with that 3-foot overhang for the front door cover. And we are happy to answer any questions about the proposed changes to the site. I just think we just want to point out there's no increase in structure, there's no increase in footprint, and there's no increase in ground disturbance on the site.
Very good, Teresa. My question is how is the deck accessed?
So the deck is accessed from, so actually I have some architecturals. They're not in very clear, but I'd be happy to hand some out and pass these around. I printed off. But the deck is going to be accessed from the upstairs. So there's no access to that roof deck. How many do we need? There's no access to the roof deck from the ground. The roof deck is going to be accessed from the bedroom. There's a bedroom, and if you look at this elevation building, you can share.
It's funny.
Yes, fine.
Do you need more? I think I
We're
have.
good.
Okay. If you look at this elevation drawing, you can see that there's an existing dormer on the house. And so there's going to be a slider in that dormer, and that's how that roof deck will be accessed. It's going to be in the rear of the house.
Okay.
And I think that's shown clearly. And I apologize, I'm trying to learn how to use the new stapler feature on our new printer. And, I got it a little bit backwards. But if you look on page 2, if you flip it up and look on page 2 in the plan view, you see that there's an existing bedroom, and then there's going to be a slider, and they're going to access the roof deck, the inserted or recessed roof deck from that bedroom.
Good. Yeah, we were wondering if there's going to be an external.
No, there'll be no external. It would just be for that bedroom.
Good.
And this feature, that's the proposed slider.
It's actually on the left of that, so that's a window.
Oh.
So if you look to the left, there's an arrow that points sort of down, and that's the slider to the roof deck.
Oh, thank you, okay.
Yes.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've been out there since the big windstorm,
I
but
have not.
there are at least one big pine tree that's split, broken and overhanging. It's on the coastal bank,
Okay.
and they were doing some cleanup of other debris and so on. But if it's on the coastal bank, you need to remove storm damage.
Yes.
You can just let Alicia know.
Yes, we've been in contact with Alicia.
You can do it the same way we did it for 125 Baker.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll get over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer to that question. Any other concerns or questions?
I'm just concerned about the roof deck because our regulations don't allow any new structure in the 50, and would be a new structure. Even though the roof's already there, the deck wouldn't be. So I'm assuming you're going to change the roof so to fit this deck.
So I think, and Boris can probably answer this best, but the deck is going to be recessed into the existing roof. It's not going to be built up on top of the existing roof. So that it doesn't result in any increase in square footage or any increase in structure. The only thing that does result in a minor increase in volume is that change in the height of that garage that's going to come up a foot. So that does result in that 0.68% increase in volume in the overall structure.
So this will actually end up by embedding the deck into the roof. Won't that actually reduce the volume of the?
It would actually, yes. And Boris, if you are listening in and you can help me with this, please jump in.
This guy's hand.
Yes. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
You can.
Okay, great. Because on my end, like half of the wording is kind of cutting out. I don't know if it's the connection or something, but Can you please repeat the question? I heard about the roof, how that's going to be built on top of the deck on top of the roof. All I can say is we're carving the deck into the roof. We're not building it on top. Was there was that the question, or did I miss something?
Basically, that's what we were wondering. How?
Yes. So imagine the roof just being carved, and instead of one section of the roof, now we have a deck kind of carved into it.
Are you removing any roof structure?
We have to remove, yes, we have to remove the basically the back side of the roof above their existing living room. We need to remove a lot of the rafters and some of the joists in order to build the deck.
So they would be reducing the inside.
So we are technically reducing quite a bit of volume of the roof,
Right.
but that volume will be supplemented by the deck. So I don't even know how that would be in reality calculated to be an exact, but like we talked about this with the architects, with all the calculations that we've done, it's less than 0.5% that is actually being increased, just around 0.5%. And that's probably a number that we pushed through so many hours of calculation, and I don't even know if that's even true. We may even be under the 0%, to be honest with you, but we wanted to be kind of safe, and we're like, okay, well, this is just around 0.5% somehow. But considering the roof, significant lowering of the volume on the roof, and then the deck will supplement it somehow, but nothing more than that. So everything's within the existing footprint.
So the walkway in front of the house, is that going to be altered in any way?
No, at this time, the walkway is not going to be altered. So it's just going to
So
leave.
we're really just looking at popping out.
Exactly. Yep. They're just looking at putting a cover over the front door because the flat face, when you're standing there, water just kind of dumps on your head.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so will it be downspouts for the deck and for the entrance ones?
Yeah, so in the previous, in our notice of intent filing, we do have a note that downspouts, and this was part of the previous filing, so this will continue with this, that downspouts, gutters and downspouts going to dry wells had to be added. And that was in the plan with the revised date of February 11th, 2025. We added a note that gutters and downspouts directed to dry wells will be installed to eliminate potential erosion and water damage to the structure. So that's part of the original order of conditions. Yeah, that'll continue.
Is there limited work found down here?
We did not mark a limit of work because we weren't doing any work on the ground. And we do have, I believe on the original.
Their building permit says that they have to have all the materials and staging of materials, anything on existing hardscape.
Let's see.
And towards, yeah, and they're not all, yeah. We can ask for a limit of work.
We could certainly add one for you, yes.
I feel a little better about the roof deck, knowing that it's not gonna be additional structure, but just
Right.
part of the roof.
Yes, you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that. If it were
Yeah,
On top.
bigger structure.
Yeah, it's not the typical on top of the ridge deck over the roof deck.
Quite good at the scoop. So, any other concerns or questions? Are we ready to vote?
you want me to add a limit of work as a condition? Would we feel better about adding a limit of work?
I think, given the fact that they're gonna be working on the roof and the garage, it's all in the 50, I would.
Let's do it. Yeah, that's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, they're right on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Just
It's slow.
one question, can you explain, the coastal bank is noted as one side of the 14-foot conduit down here,
Yes.
and then top of coastal bank goes up and around.
It does, and all of that is based on the slope calculations, and so John O'Reilly that's why he has all of those additional slope 1 to 4.2. then 2.7 to 1, then 1.3, or I can't, I should probably blow this up, 1 to 3.33. And that top of coastal bank line has absolutely everything to do with the slope calculation, simply because this is a floodplain and the coastal bank acts as a vertical buffer to flood water in this particular case.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will need an engineering degree.
Yeah, there's a DEP reg.
Recognition, yes.
It's 92-1. I can send it to you, Bob, that explains when a floodplain hits a coastal bank.
It's a slope
It's the angle of the slope that determines where the coastal banks start.
Yeah. And the topography varies. It gets steeper in some areas on the slope, and then it's less steep in other areas, which is why I think we have this kind of smiley face coastal bank delineation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to see that educated and stuff.
Okay. So we would like to see a limit of work.
Yeah, I'll add it as a condition.
And we can add that limit of work and return that around and send that to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think there'll be will there also be some sort of, well, you're not expecting anything to happen in the back of the house.
No, exactly. So what I will do is I'll hold the limit of work at the coastal bank line in that area, but I'll give them a little bit of room just to the on the, I guess, the northeast side of the house, so that they have some access around the back of the house for construction.
Yeah.
But we'll hold the limit of work right at the deck, at the ground level deck. So they wouldn't go beyond that, where the coastal bank meets the ground level deck.
Any other concerns or questions? You have anybody from the outside that's asking?
No.
No butters.
Okay, so I move that we approve the amended order of conditions for 90 Blue Heron Road.
Second,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
And yes.
and I just want to add that I don't want this to be a precedent for the top decks, because they come in different shapes and sizes.
This one's already a street. And that's a little nice. Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
Teresa. Thank you, Boris.
Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome.
Signature page.
Oh, Teresa, yes, take these in case you need them.
I kept one for the file.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa. Yep. Okay, the next hearing is Elizabeth Silverstone, 150 Main Street, 15 Article 12, a request for determination of applicability to install a storage shed. And who do we have this?
My name is Jamie McGrath. I'm from Pine Harbor Wood Products with a shed company. Here on behalf of Elizabeth Silverstone.
Okay.
As indicated, we're looking for a request for determination. Am I ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're ready to go.
Michael?
Here for an RDA, we have hope to construct a prefabricated 8x12 or 8x14 shed on property. I submitted hopefully you have a couple of pictures of the site plan. We did not do any major new engineering for this. There's a very steep drop off. If you're familiar with the property right here on Main Street, to the backside, I think we're about 70 feet to the backside of the storage shed. A new septic system had been recently installed. We're going to be just to the backside of that in order to meet road setbacks, property line setbacks from the street and everything. We kind of need to be right behind that. We're proposing to essentially the shed is mostly manufactured off site. There is some light roofing that would need to be done on site, but it's all wall panels and a prefabricated frame system. We propose to use sonotube footings because it's going to be close to the back end of the ground, which are just hand dug, no machine equipment. Right now, there's a boat there in the property. It's fully cleared gravel area, mostly dirt, no vegetation of any kind would be removed, and we would dig these sonotube footings in by hand with shovels and postal digger, and then put a crushed stone base underneath with and do the drip lines also front and back. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, so the application mentions the crushed stone base. It doesn't say anything about sonotubes.
And that was something that I felt would be right because of the bank there, but it's not something, and I apologize if somehow we missed that, but we would normally try because of the location to the steepness of the bank in the back to put that on footings.
Would diamond piers work as well?
Yes, we've used them. We prefer not to because for decks, they work really well. For us, the ability to level without having to go from a diamond pier to wood to then another piece of wood, it works better for us. The grade there is relatively close, but it's off by maybe 6 inches. It's a lot easier for us to just adjust the height of the top of the footing and pour concrete rather than have to kind of put those in all at different grades and then adjust with wood from the top up. And the fact that they also cost $300 a piece for 6 of those versus the footings that we put in for $700 complete, versus it's a $2,000 project using the diamond piers. I think they have their place. And if you preferred that, we could. I would just probably need to run that by the homeowner if that's a significant preference.
We typically request diamond pier installations unless it's a load bearing issue,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't even really think they're needed. I think if that was the case, I'd probably try to remove them from the application, just have the stone base there. This was more of a precautionary thing than to get into this major expense. I don't think I can't imagine that it helps or hurts the conservation side of this application.
If it were level,
We would leave on a concrete block. And the spot actually is level. It's just close to the bank. So it was more of a potential, stability issue more than it was anything else.
what kind of crushed stone are you using? Is it crushed bluestone or is it like
Nowadays, it seems like everything has bluestone in it, but we usually try to use native. But these days, the quarries that we've been getting mostly bluestone in the native.
Yeah, it's mixed.
Yeah.
Do you think if you would not put in the sonotubes, would that change the profile of how it affects the float behind it?
No, I think really the stone is what would affect the profile for the drip lines and just erosion control more so than anything. Again, the footings were there, and I don't think they got taken off our invoice, but if they weren't on the application, they may have. But that's mostly, again, simply because I sometimes feel it's a stability issue over the next 20 years more so than the next 20 days.
So am I understanding that you could use concrete block there?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
You're not digging at all.
Correct.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we definitely can. I think again, it was more of a overkill kind of thing than anything. It's not like we're hanging this thing off the back if it was going to be elevated by 2.5, 3 feet, I would say we would definitely need the footings or the diamond piers with a wood frame. We'd be getting into a lot more work by doing either one of those things than what we really need to do.
I can condition it that says, sonotubes aren't permitted, but concrete blocks are. And if when you get out there and start doing the work and you're on site and realize that maybe you need sonotubes, you can contact me and
If that was the case and I had to do it, I would just use the diamond piers.
Okay.
That's fine with me. I have no real issue with that. I was there 20 minutes ago and I just don't see.
Okay, so I'll put that in as a
requirement.
condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Any other concerns or questions?
Okay, so I move that we identify this RDA 150 Main Street as a -3 with the special conditions suggested by the agent.
Second,
Yes.
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 And yes. Okay, Jamie, we're good to go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if we have a no-show for,
Do we have to continue that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we posted it?
Yeah.
So I move that we continue, Robinson 156 Lieutenant Island Road indefinitely, because I don't know what the date would be.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Jen and I both think that he was supposed to be here today, but I'll email him and see.
I have to identify that if disclose that the trust may have an interest, but I can still be objective and fair in my judgment.
okay. So how do you feel about the continuance?
Yes,
Did somebody second it?
And that's,
I seconded it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
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 and yes, okay. Good, well, we got through that.
Find that before you.
Yes, Nick.
That
RDA.
You've been around.
yeah, you also have another page for accepting the properties.
When we open it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I move that we adjourn the public hearings.
Second, Michael. Yes.
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 And yes, okay. And I'll bring the business meeting into that session. In attendance, we have Michael Fisher, Barbara Benessa, Bob Stewart, and Leanne Shreves, so we have a full. Do we have any jurisdictional opinions to discuss? Okay. Mail and discussion, we do have a signature page for acceptance of 300, 330, 346, and 360. Blue Heron Road properties in conservation custody previously voted on and approved. So basically, we've already approved this, we just need to sign it, right?
Correct.
So we don't have to vote or anything? We've already.
No.
You've already voted. Now this was just a form from administration.
Okay, is there any other mail or discussions that we need to have? Okay, there's no more discussions. That leaves us with the approval of the minutes of the last meeting, which was March 18th. Are there any corrections or additions that need to be done to that?
I move we accept the minutes of March 18th.
Second, Michael.
All right, how do you know? The minutes of that part.
I didn't.
Oh, okay, to the staff for the last memo.
On the last page.
On the left page. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a few things that are being added.
Oh, I didn't know the beginning of that.
He's asking about these.
Oh, do you see that, Jen?
Yeah, I would attach it at like when I post it. It's just the memo that he gave us and then I don't have any special conditions
There
yet.
was one, there were some special conditions.
Yeah,
But
but we're still waiting on the plan, so we don't have them yet.
okay, so yes.
And yes, so they are approved. Unless there is something else we need to discuss. The next public hearing will be on April 15th, tax day 2026. And I move that we adjourn the business meeting.
Second, Michael. Yes.
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 And yes. Very good. Good night's work. Thank you, everybody. So we should hang on to
Yeah.